Just like that. We back. You feel me? It's the greatest pod in the world, a show about nothing. I'm here, as you can see, with the greatest. My boy Ish. I would tell him to introduce yourself, but this is episode 30, and it's actually probably episode, 275?
52 weeks in a year. We did about 4 years. We might be up to 250 for real.
Oh, God. Emergency pod, if you will.
Yeah. Emergency pod, all hands on deck for real.
On God, due to the brilliance of Steph Curry last night, 50 points in the game 7, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 20 of 38 shooting, 7 of 18 from 3. Just did it all, man. So we're gonna talk about it, but like I said, this is a show about nothing, episode 30. The title of this episode will not be named. You will see by now. You clicked on episode, so you see the name. Yeah. You cannot steal that. Yeah. That is ours. We are on record. We are the first person to coin post-traumatic Steph disorder. Yeah. Post-traumatic Steph disorder. PTSD.
Shirts, hats.
Come on now.
Phone cases will be ready on demand.
Under Armour, call us.
Yeah, listen. You know what's crazy? Let's just start there. I was on the way here, and I was thinking, man, when's the last time you saw a cool Steph commercial? Like, when's the last time you saw a cool Steph commercial?
Yeah.
Like, think about a cool Nike commercial.
Bro, the biggest atrocity last year was after the finals when they didn't drop a commercial for him. Like, it was the first year with his own brand. He had his own shoe. The brand was doing well, and he won a championship, win his first finals MVP, and there's no commercial within the first 24 hours? Like, what are you doing?
Nothing, bro. Listen, I'll do a pro bono at this point. Like,
exactly.
I can do it for purposes. Under Armour, get in contact with me, my nigga. Like, I got you off the road.
Oh, God. So, all right, bro. Let's get into it, man. So, we talked, all right, headphones coming off. Just had to make sure we sound good. So, we talked on Thursday, and we spoke about how we felt the series was over. We both thought Golden State was going to close it out in 6. In Golden State, I thought Steph was going to have a masterclass. I thought Clay was going to be a shell of Game 6 Clay, not in a negative way, just like 27, 28-ish, something nice, couple 4, 5, 6 threes. And I thought they closed it out pretty easily, about 15, 20-point game. That's exactly what I predicted. Complete opposite happened. San Antonio. Sacramento came out and jumped on two of them immediately. And I'm not going to lie, they seemed shocked. Like, they thought Sacramento was just going to lay down.
They 1,000% thought that, man, as long as we get to the stadium today, we'll be okay. Like,
yes, that's exactly how it looked like they approached that game. So, we go through Game 6. Shout out to the Sacramento Kings. Excellent performance. Malik Monk is a main shout out from Game 6. I think Malik Monk aggression and energy won them that game. I think Steph could have done enough to pull them back in if it wasn't for Malik Monk's energy in that third quarter. But we'll go ahead, jump to Game 7, man. Just talk about the performance.
Okay, bet. So, picking up from post Game 6, it's real uncomfortable in Golden State. It's real uncomfortable. There's reports that after the game, nobody else in the locker room but Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Real cinematic shit like Cap, Thor, and Iron Man all in the room. Like, man, what are we going to do about this, bro? And honestly, we're post the game, I cannot believe this played out the way it did. Because for years, as Steph Curry fans, we have been begging. It's just like, fam, the motion, we'll talk about this later, styles make fights, and the motion is a great thing to really have in the tuck. For against certain teams, it's great to be able to attack the way they are, and we're going to talk about how they're going to do that versus the Lakers. But this was not one of those series. No. And to see Steph, and of course it came out, they had a crazy pregame speech telling Jordan Poole and Kuminga to shut the fuck up, or whatever he was telling him. Basically, like, yo, we in the playoffs now. All that stuff that y'all was crying about, all that stuff that you mad about, Jordan Poole mad in Game 6, it's over. Don't get on the bus unless you locked in. And not just to say it, to completely change your game to make sure niggas feeling what you saying. So we didn't do the show. We didn't do the show live Sunday, but me and Daniel always on the same page. He texted me during the game. He texted me what I had been telling niggas all day was like, man, I don't care if these niggas lose by 25. Go down shooting. Go down 40 shots. Go down. He ended up with 38. Do not go down trying to run this off-ball action.
Yes, sir.
Go down making them stop your best player every single play, like a lot of other teams do. Mm-hmm. And exactly what we said would happen, happened. If Steph Curry was on a team like Harden was for those years, like Steve Nash was, where he is going to dominate the ball for 80% of the game, there is still not a defense that's going to stop him, especially at this point.
Well said. So I will start after Game 6. So those of you who don't know, right now Steph is Ish's favorite player. The Warriors are my actual favorite team. San Antonio is Ish's team. So I'd be a little bit more stressed out than Ish do being the games.
That's a fact.
So I don't get on Twitter during the games. I don't text in the group chat during the games. I don't text nobody back. The only person I may text during the game is Tyrone because he's the only other Warrior fans I know. Like my brother called me during the game. I was like, bro, don't play with me right now. Don't play with me right now, big bro. But like, oh god.
Shout out to Big Bro, yo, my nigga.
Yo, like chill. We are at war. So after Game 6, during Game 6, actually, I'll start there. I am losing my mind. I'm like, there's no way y'all want to go back to Sacramento. Like, I don't want to go back to Sacramento, and I'm not even there. I'm Georgia.
Craziest home court in the league.
Yo, like, there's no way y'all playing like this right now. Clay couldn't find his shot. Steph felt like he was like waiting for everybody else to get it started. Draymond was mediocre. Even Kevon Looney, that was his worst game of the season. I mean, not of the season, of the series. So I'm going into Game 6, and I said, all right, there's three things that I was looking at going into Game 6. One, and this is probably the most important thing of the list. Do I really think Steph Curry is going to let Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox outplay him in a Game 7?
Facts.
The answer to that question was no. Number two, out of all the basketball I've seen them boys play since 2015, do I really think they going to put two performances back-to-back like that in the playoffs to go home in the first round? Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Three, have they lost the Western Conference playoff series? They have not.
Nope.
And when I answered those questions, that was Saturday. I was said it's curtains. I said we probably gonna lose this game. I was like, we probably gonna lose this game. Steph's gonna play great. I was like, Steph's gonna go for 38. Yeah. We probably gonna lose by like 5 or 6. It's gonna hurt, and I'm gonna have to deal with it. And we're not gonna do a show for 2 weeks because I'm gonna be soaking.
He was talking to the other day. He was like, yeah, we should record tomorrow. We both stopped. I was like, man, listen, if they lose,
we're gonna take a couple of days off. So Sunday morning, I woke up in better spirits because I actually got to watch the game, not just thinking about it. And I was like, I said, Steph ain't not letting these niggas lose. Nah. I said, there's no way Steph let these niggas lose. And then we turned the game on. And I said, I texted him, I said, you got to go down shooting. And getting into the X's and O's, the reason Sacramento won that game as the way they did, Golden State did come out with a lack of energy. It was an embarrassment to their home crowd that paid all that money to come watch them play, sat in rush hour traffic because the game was at 5 o'clock.
Fast.
And
to their credit, well, I'm not going to say to their credit, because y'all fans.
Yeah.
But got there on time.
Like Steph asked him to and everything. So going into the Game 6, Mike Brown had the genius idea, which I thought was an excellent coaching adjustment. And he said, fuck it, I'm just going to small. And I'm going to just try to outshoot these niggas for 2 games. Yep. And it worked Game 6. And it caught the Warriors off guard. When they didn't bring Alex Len in the game and brought Terrence Davis in instead of him, they looked lost. They didn't know where to go. They didn't know how they wanted to guard, how they wanted to switch, how they wanted to guard the pick and roll. They looked discombobulated. And I said, one thing about Steve, bro, them next game adjustments be amazing every single time. Yeah. So I was very interested to see how they attacked that. And then a point we always say to each other, you can't beat the Warriors trying to be the Warriors.
That's another one y'all can't steal for sure. I got the copyright on that one, nigga. Like,
Yeah, for sure. He's been saying that since 2017. So, knowing that, I was like, Mike, I don't think you should go small. Because one thing that it did was it took Davion Mitchell out the game. And I saw a lot of people asking, a lot of analysts, everybody asking, why is Davion Mitchell not playing? Because he played the best defense on Steph Curry by far. And the reason Davion Mitchell was not in the game was because of his offensive ability. His I would say, lack of offensive ability. If Davion Mitchell is on the court with a small ball lineup, he has to be your 1 or 2, and he didn't feel comfortable with him in that position offensively, running an offense. Right. So he left Fox in or left Monk in to run the offense and put shooters all around him because he was like, game 1 through 5, you never stopped them. And that line, them rotations you were working never stopped them from scoring the ball. And it hindered you from scoring ball because Terrence Davis clearly is one of their best shooters. Yeah. So putting him in this lineup gives you extra shooting. And game 5, what was the game 4 and 5 were the issue? They couldn't hit a 3-pointer. Yep.
Lost the game because Harrison Barnes. Shout out to Harrison Barnes.
Shout out to Harrison Barnes.
I think he made 5 threes in 7 games. Shout out to you. Listen.
Coming through again.
Listen, Nick Wright, don't sue me, but that's the real Mr. Consistency. Harrison Barnes has been ass for a long time, nigga. Man, doesn't it feel good?
It felt great. It felt great.
He finally helped the Warriors win a game 7. He finally helped the Warriors win a game 7.
It felt great.
Yeah.
So, we get to game 7, and one thing, and go watch episode 28, I believe we talked about this, Steph's ability to control pace. Yeah. Steph, it was his job, and his job only, to control the pace of that entire basketball game. Mm-hmm. And if you guys want to go back and watch the film of that game, you will see every time the Warriors got a rebound, they gave it to Steph. Mm-hmm. And when they gave it to Steph would then make the decision, hey, Jordan, you bring it up. Draymond, you got it. And even if it wasn't a pass to him, it was not. It go to him, and we'll walk it up the court. Mm-hmm. Steph made sure the pace of that game stayed at a up possession, down possession. It was no back and forth, because every game they lost, that's how. It was because even if it wasn't a full game, at some point you got on a track meet with them, and that's when they pulled away.
I know you saw this too, because I definitely noticed this. And for the people that will go back and watch it, I may see if I can find like a couple clips of it and throw it, like, let's say right here. But if you watch the Kings, even on made baskets, they would not inbound the ball. They would throw it damn near the half court to try to get the pace going, and no matter what, Steph Curry get the ball, he's going to do the opposite. Mm-hmm. We're all going to stop, you're all going to get down there, and then we're going to go. Mm-hmm. But it was interesting to see the back and forth between both teams, really the struggle on how they wanted to play. Let's just shout out Terrence Davis for sure. Yes. Got off the bench, played amazing, played fearless for real.
Yes.
Couple of the Steph defensive possessions, you could have been better, but I'm not gonna blame you because that was your first time out there with something like that. Like the 30-footer where he just touched his head. That's not Steph defense.
No,
that's not. But it was your first time.
But it's defense for everybody else. Yeah. it's like you're gonna set him in a game 7 and you gotta guard a game 7 Steph Curry.
But. From just a pure Steph fan, I really locked in this game. You don't get to see these often, especially we talk about on the Warriors. You know, Steph is my favorite player since 2014, 2015. And his best season, he sat out a quarter in the 4 quarters. Like, we didn't even get to really see him get deep into that. Yeah. But this was a masterclass in scoring overall. And that's why, ironically enough, I'm so happy it wasn't 12 threes. Because it's so easy for people to just be like, oh yeah, he got hot from 3. No. This was literally a surgical destruction of this team. And I don't want y'all to get too lost in the sauce, but we literally just saw this versus the Celtics.
Yes.
Where, all right, this motion shit not going to work.
Nope.
I'm tired of the early play turnovers by lesser ball handlers, a.k.a. Poole, Clay, Draymond, trying to run the motion. All right, Steph, we're going to run pick and roll. And we're going to see if they figured out a defense for you in the pick and roll yet. And for the 28th series in the Western Conference, nobody has.
No.
Early in the game, they tried to blitz him, didn't work. Tried to switch, didn't work. Tried to high hedge, show, didn't work. Any opportunity there was to score, he made sure that he got it, and he did it every which way. Left hand, right hand, pull-up jumper, step back in the midi.
Floater.
Yeah, floater. They were like, man, he's using his shoulder too much. I just laughed at myself like, oh, Steph Curry too strong now. Oh, he's too strong now.
Now he's too strong.
Yeah, now he's too strong.
Okay.
Listen, giving out crazy work to everybody. Man, it really brings, and in the moment though, but the moment it takes where the first half, he had 30, okay, this is going to sound crazy. He had 30 in the second half. And his first half might have been better.
Yes.
Because Clay couldn't throw a rock in the ocean from a boat. 1 for 10 in the first half, couldn't hit anything. Shout out to him. Listen, credit to Clay. I won't say this, credit to Clay. 1 for 10 in the second half and came out taking crazy shots anyway and hit the couple that he needed to make.
Exactly.
But man, if there's any other person on that team, not Steph Curry, game's over at half.
Yes.
And we don't want to get too big picture with it, but in the future, for you niggas, like the team was this. One person can only do too much. There you go. Jimmy Butler showed you. Steph Curry showed you. Stop coming up with excuses. Get it done, man.
Get it done. That Giannis shit, stop it.
That's what it looks like when you're the best player on the court, and everybody knows.
When you're the best in the world. So, yeah, now we'll go to the 50. So, the pace is one thing, because being able to control the pace of a basketball game is something probably him, LeBron, and Chris Paul, probably the only 3 people in the world that can do that right now.
Even with elite point guards. Still
yes, you can't. It's hard to do. It's really hard to control the pace of another team because it's something you have to make. It has to be something you're doing intentionally, right. And you have to do it throughout a quarter and a half to where they just kind of just stop because it's just how basketball works. If you ever go watch a pickup basketball game just in a short sample size, and whatever team, usually say you go watch a bunch of old heads play a bunch of young niggas.
Yep.
And you will see how a pace can be dictated by one person. If you got an old nigga that's been running a while and he know his 5 and he the point guard, he gonna walk the ball up the court, let everything get set up because he know a lot of young niggas can't score in half-court offense when you got a whole defense looking at them. It's the same thing in the NBA. If you just let Steph walk the ball up the court, eventually that's going to be the pace that dictates the game, especially when you're in the lead, or you have, even if you're not in the lead, you're down 1 or 2, but you have complete control over the game. With the 50, he had 22 points in the paint.
Damn.
22 points in the paint at 6'2".
Cooking.
22 of his 50 were in the paint. The first half, I want to start there. The first half was so impressive because every single shot he took, they absolutely needed to go in. Like they were run-ending shots. It was like, okay, if I miss this 3 and it goes long, they're starting to run. Yep. If I miss this layup and I can't get back, they're starting to run. Those 3-point shots he were hitting were so clutch. Yes, clutch. And that's why I hate the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, or last 5 minutes of the last 20 seconds, buzzer beaters. It doesn't give you a full scope of what clutch actually is because those buckets in the second quarter were clutch buckets. And that between boom, cross, step back on Keegan Murray.
Keegan didn't touch anything on the right wing. This is what's so
like, yo, what are you doing out there, bro?
Watched him as long as I have. I felt so bad for Keegan because he gave that to the Thunder in 16. He knew that was going on. Like, this the first time we done seen that same move 4 times.
Oh, God.
Same wing and everything. Knew it was cash. But to your point about the shots he was making in the first half, and that was the reason I really loved watching the first half because it was really disheartening for the Kings a little bit, where everybody else they had locked up. Everybody, listen, Gary Payton had 3 fouls in the second. Clay couldn't hit the rim. Wiggins had the first game I've ever seen where he really just missed everything.
Yes.
And every time they thought they were just going to get away, Steph just kept him within his arm reach. Sneaky and one here, layup here, pull up here. Everything you needed him to do, he kept doing. And what was so... I'll say it's a little poetic is how Malik Monk and their team in general really viewed themselves like, yo, these are some old niggas for real. Mm-hmm. But the difference is, and this is the overlooked part about Steph crazy athleticism, late third quarter, game 7, niggas been sprinting for 7 games. Who's the one nigga who wasn't tired? The old nigga. The old nigga. The nigga. And that's what you said early in the series. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you know, they can run like that for one game. But Steph recovery and preparation for these games, mm-hmm. y'all physically niggas are just not ready for that task over that long, and it's almost like a mental exercise. Mm-hmm. And we've seen this with so many teams. It's kind of, I really do feel bad for the Kings. Big picture, you had your best season arguably in not even arguably, you had your best season since Vlade Divac was there. 3rd seed, and your reward is Steph Curry in the first round. That's fucked up. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
My God, my nigga. And it's like, it's real sad for them because it's like, they probably beat everybody in the West.
That's the thing. If they beat the Warriors, there's no one else that you would honestly think they would be overwhelmed going against. Mm-hmm. They may lose to they may lose to the Lakers, maybe lose to Jokic or lose to the Suns, but you wouldn't feel like the kids that they are.
Yes.
This series definitely separated them from, like, let's say a Memphis.
Yes.
Who was kind of like their little
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves. These young teams, it's like, yeah, we're running up and down, we're trying harder than y'all the whole year, and we get to the playoffs and we sputter out because we really don't know what we're doing. Nah, the Kings were ready for this moment, prepared, top to bottom. Listen, hats off again to Mike Brown, top to bottom. Every person who got off that bench for that team was prepared, ready to go. None of them scared. Sometimes, you know, they just...
You just run into a top 5 player all the time.
we told, listen, he creeping up there too.
Look.
Wasn't it funny watching today, hearing niggas say the shit we've been saying for a year? I'm like, man, is that better than Magic? Well, listen.
You
know, niggas been trying to tell y'all that.
Well, listen. We'll get there. I do want to talk a little bit more about the 50, just about the game in general, because you said something very important, that his teammates didn't show up. But I want to give a hand clap, not literally, but a hand clap, a shout out to his teammates and Clay, mainly the 7 that play. Clay, GP2, Dante, GP. I mean, I always call him do that. GP and JP, Draymond and Looney. First off, no, Looney separate from everybody. We haven't mentioned.
Loon Goon. Your people gotta get in contact with me.
Yo,
you gotta chop it up for real.
Looney, I'm not gonna cap, bro. I didn't doubt you. I just said you couldn't be our starting center and us win championships, and I'm genuinely sorry. Like, I hope you see this one day so you can see this apology, and you don't even know I said the other stuff. But he did not. He was like, Looney is good. He said Looney has worked. He's getting better. He saw it last year during the playoffs. Last year during the playoffs, you had me convinced, and by midway this year, I was like, yeah, we good. Yeah. But now, what you did in that series was you were probably like, if we averaged it out, probably our second best player, like more consistently than anybody.
Big picture, Looney, you just outplayed an all NBA center. Nigga.
Come on now.
Outplayed.
Come on now.
It wasn't even close.
At 6'9".
At 6, listen, took him behind the shade. Niggas talking about, damn, Sabonis ass now. That's the crazy thing about being on Sacramento on the West Coast. A lot of niggas didn't know Sabonis didn't have a bag. Like, listen, I ain't seen a nigga get exposed like that in a minute.
That's sad, bro.
That's sad. That nigga on Front Street for
it was sad, bro. Like, genuinely, because it was...
He's the face of no bag hoops. Right?
You ever just be screaming at the TV, hey, turn over the right shoulder. Hey, the right shoulder, bro. No, not that one. Just the right shoulder.
It's crazy, bro. Because even Harden back in the day used to pretend to go right. Like, Sabonis don't even pretend to go right.
My nigga, like, just give him a dream shake. You don't got nothing.
They are so far over on the left shoulder. Even if you go right, you could probably still lay it up with your left.
Like, bro was tripping. I felt bad for bro, but that's where I was going. With his team, it's really tough to play that well defensively when your shots aren't falling. And you're not getting as many shots as you want to, and your shots are rushing, you're not in rhythm. But you coming back down every possession and defending like you can, I mean, like they did last night, was incredible.
Yeah, play for sure.
7 turnovers. 7 turnovers. That and their defense, besides Steph, that and their defense and the rebounding were the 3 keys to them winning. The 7 turnovers, their defense, and rebounding were the keys to them winning.
I want to shout out Jordan Poole, too. We already shouted out Salucci one more time. But I think it's especially from Jordan's Poole perspective, it would have been really easy after you get in the game, you throw up that first stupid layup, you throw up that first stupid three to really check out. But to his credit,
check right back in.
Got his opportunity in the second half. Same situation presented himself. He clearly was told not to do that shit again.
It wasn't even the second half, it was the second quarter.
Yeah,
they took him out and put him back in, and he was ready.
It came right back in. Instead of driving on two niggas, he gave the ball back to Steph, and Steph gave it right back to him.
Wide open
three.
Snap.
So, you know, and I was glad to see a lot of the Warriors fans rallying around Jordan Poole because listen, you for sure had the worst game of your life, Game 6. Like, I've never seen anything
that was disgusting. Disgusting.
But you're a champion, my nigga.
Yeah.
And you were going to respond like this whole team did. So it was really great to see that X's and O's wise.
And I'm real glad you brought Jordan Poole up because I need y'all to stop piling on JP, bro.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this year, we'll start last year. Last year, Jordan Poole was asked to start, come off the bench, start. No, yes, he was start at the beginning of the year because of Clay. Come off the bench when Clay got back, and then start again when Steph got hurt, and then go back to the bench when the playoffs started.
And then he started the first round in versus Denver.
Yes, start in the first round, and then go back to the bench after the first round. And then come back this next offseason, come up the next season, come off the bench, start, come off the bench, start, come up. Yeah. You're going back and forth all year.
Played every game,
got punched in the face, played every game back-to-back years, actually.
Yep.
Got punched in the face, and at every turn, everything you want in a backup point guard or a backup hybrid guard, he does. He is a 3-level scorer. He can pass the ball. He does not defend, but when he is locked in defensively, shout out to AD, when he is locked in defensively, he's an adequate defender. He is just, let's say this together, 22 years old.
That's still 22.
At 22 years old, you're not going to be locked in every possession on defense because you don't even know how to do that yet because you're 22. Right. At 22, you're going to make really bad mistakes in the playoff game because you're 22. At 22, you're going to take awful shots in the playoff game back to back to back because you're 22. You know why they didn't snatch him out the game? You know why they let him play through all of those mistakes and that you never saw nobody look? He was frustrated with himself. That video where he pushed off Draymond and Steph had to come talk to him, that was him being frustrated at himself, and I don't want the nigga punching me in my face talking to me right now.
Listen,
I'm mad at myself.
I'm glad you said that, fam. Listen, none of them niggas got any clout to be talking to Jordan Poole except Steph Curry and Clay and
Andre.
And like the real, listen, Jordan, don't touch me, nigga. Punch me this year, bro. Get your hands off me.
Exactly. So he went through a lot, and he has stood the test of time. Y'all be acting like Jordan Poole averaged 4 points a game. A nigga averaged 20 a game this year. Listen, he averaged 20 a game in his fourth year.
Despite us being fans of the most efficient scorer to ever place him up, we are not percentage niggas, bro.
No.
I don't care what he shot from the field.
Did
he make the ones that matter?
Don't give a fuck.
He did. He made the ones that matter. The mid-range shot he needed after back-to-back clank threes by Clay to keep the game in close, those are the shots that matter, bro. Yes. I don't care about this nigga's VORP in January, bro.
Oh, God. So, before we jump into the Lakers Warriors, I do want to give a big hand. I do want to give a hand clap to Mike Brown, man. Excellent season. Yeah. Like, you did everything right. And I think that's one of them seasons, like, he's probably already took a private plane. He probably in Cancun, Turks and Caicos or something right now, chilling. And I think he probably didn't sleep well last night, but I think he'll have a good night's sleep in 2 nights because he will go back and watch that film and just be like, I play Steph.
I told my dad, I was like, fam, if anybody knew, it was Mike Brown. Mike Brown was the most least surprised nigga in that locker room.
Oh, like, God. He probably wouldn't have told them niggas,
hey, that nigga.
Sometimes you see somebody like that.
Listen, he only got 3 more years. He's 35.
He's 35. He can't do it forever, y'all. Keep working.
Yeah, for real, bro.
It's nothing to hang your hats on if you send it Sacramento. Yeah. De'Aaron Fox, same to you, bro. Yeah. I got a lot of respect for De'Aaron Fox, man. Broken finger played through that shit. Fourth quarter takeover. Really? His game is amazing. Like De'Aaron Fox's game is going to what did I say about Steph when he was younger? It will translate to his older years. Okay. I said when Steph was in year 2 2017-18, like he would be able to play the 37-38 because of how he plays basketball. De'Aaron Fox is that way too, because although De'Aaron Fox is lightning fast, he does not play above the rim like Ja does and like Derrick Rose and Russ did. He plays below the rim. He's just super fast.
He keep it in the tuck though.
Yes, and he's excellent at changing pace. That's 100%. He is excellent at changing pace, and he is one of those guys that he's starting to learn how to control the tempo through a game. He can't do it a whole game yet, but he was picking his spots in the fourth quarter where he was dictating the pace of that game. Yeah. So a huge respect for them and everybody in Sacramento. They're a piece away.
The only person who should not feel good is Sabonis.
That's the only person and of course Harrison Barnes shouldn't feel bad. Sabonis shouldn't feel bad about offensively. You just got to get better.
Yeah.
You should feel bad about last night because Looney just outworked you.
No, what Looney did to you last night, you should feel bad about.
You just got outworked in that second half last night. That was disgusting.
He sunned you for real.
You had 0 points and zero rebounds in the second half. That's ridiculous. It was a
stretch in the third quarter because I love game sevens because niggas just miss everything. Niggas missing
yes,
inbound passes. Yes. Niggas was missing layups.
Yes.
Listen, that pressure real.
That pressure real, bro.
It was a stretch for like 40 seconds where Looney was like, all right, try again.
Try again.
Shoot one more.
Try again. Try again.
Yeah. 4 rebounds in a row.
I'm glad you said that game sevens are so fun because you do see players like miss shots you're used to seeing them hitting, and part of that is because of how long a 7-game series is and how exhausted you are, and part of that is the pressure of the game 7. If you guys noticed yesterday when they got up about 9, that's when Sacramento folded. Sacramento was doing everything they could, but it was when they got that 9-point lead and that 11-point lead, and an 11-point lead in a game 7 is a 20-point lead any other night. 15-point lead in the game 7 is a 25-point lead any other night. It's because it looks so big. You got 8 minutes for the rest of your season to come back, and now you play. Not only that, you Sacramento. You ain't been here before. You playing Steph. So it's a lot of pressure, man.
So Daniel's a fan of the Warriors. I'm a fan of the Spurs. So right now we're shit. So I don't watch any playoff games with any intensity. But back when I did, I fought through several game 7s, was on the wrong end of the one with the Heat. Shout out to that series.
I know that hurts you.
But listen, nothing hurts like that. But I can empathize with how I know you watched the game 6, where every single possession you're like, okay, we can take a lead, or if you're down 3, okay, we can tie it. Like every single possession, feel like this might be the last shot.
Bro, we were down 6 in game 6, and I was like, all right, bro, get a stop. Let's get a 3. Let's get a 2. Then let's get another stop.
That shit feel like everything hurt harder. You play great defense, foul the last second. You down 3.
Offensive rebounds. Yeah. Oh my God, bro.
I could not. I don't want to imagine what that felt like being on the other end of the Looney rebound.
Oh my goodness,
man,
bro.
But when you're watching a game like that, you're really like, all right, just one more shot right here. Yeah. So I can't even imagine the niggas on the court looking at the score like, man, we just need 18.
Oh, God. We just need 18 more points while this nigga ain't missed his shot in 6 minutes. Oh, that's got to be killing, man. Yeah. But lastly, I will wrap it up with Steph's 3 celebrations in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all can't finish this shit.
Yeah.
Light the beam.
Yeah.
And what was the last one he did? It's levels to this shit. It's levels to this.
De'Aaron Fox, I really hate we gotta do this to you.
But look, brother. Hey, we'll be nice today. Sometimes the 2015 Lambo pull up. Right? It's a 2015 Lambo. It's cold, man.
Crazy, right?
But this Friday.
Yep.
Or this Sunday afternoon, if you will. That 2023 Lambo truck just pulled up, twin. And it's just a difference.
It's just different, bro.
It's just different.
It's really just it's just levels that certain niggas just not gonna get to.
Ever. Unfortunately.
Yo, that's the worst part. It don't matter what, it damn near don't matter what team is on the other end of that.
No.
Not a lot of niggas survive in that, bro.
No.
You're just not making it out of there alive when the best shooter ever decides to take 38 shots. And that's okay, bro.
Yes.
We're not the only ones.
Yes.
But y'all played start to finish amazing. Shout out Davion Mitchell. He from the city adjacent. I'll give him that. Played crazy.
Played great.
You know,
there's nothing to hang hands on, bro.
Y'all just not ready. Y'all just one piece away for real.
Just not ready at all. But yeah, shout out to them. Steph, incredible performance. It was a joy to watch that. You guys should be everybody should just take a moment to take a deep breath after you're done listening to this and just remember what you saw, because you'll never see nothing like that
I
again.
think LeBron got this. Well, actually, I love that LeBron had this for him. But listen, I'm gonna steal it. Y'all were all witnesses.
Yes.
Y'all not seeing nobody else do something like that, bro.
Nah, that was ridiculous, man. Yeah. Excellent game. One of the best basketball games, like of an individual basketball game performances I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Top seven. Yes, it had an excellent series. Like, if they win this championship, we'll get there later. So now, on to the next series. And we won't stay here forever because the game is tomorrow night, and we'll talk about it on Sunday after the game. Right. Damn, will game 3 have happened? They play Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Yeah, so there'll be 3 games in by the next time we see this, so we'll have a little bit more to go into. But jumping into...
We might do an emergency pod Saturday night.
To be honest. Yeah. Rocket. Whoa, okay. So, Warriors-Lakers. Yeah. I've been asking for it all year. I asked for it in the Western Conference Finals, but I'll take it here. I've been asking for this all year because I knew this would probably be the last year that we get a good Steph and LeBron matchup. Seeing where LeBron is right now, next year he's going to be a shell of himself. It won't even be fun. Right now you still see a little bit of Bron left, right. And the aura of Bron, and he in LA, like it's still and AD healthy right now. Their team is good, so it feels different. The crowd rocking. So this series is going to probably be the highest rated series of the playoffs. It'll probably be the highest rated series of maybe ever, deadass. Because of it was one thing for Cleveland and the Warriors, but the Lakers franchise with the Warriors, what they've done the past 10 years, it's just going to be so much. We can just start there, just the names.
Amazingly, after niggas called us crazy all year talking about the regular season don't matter, we're now in the second round of the playoffs, and the Warriors have home court. So we won't see them the first 2 games. Yeah. But I can't wait to see who at the game 3. That's just I just can't wait to see who's
I can't wait.
I missed that so much about watching the Lakers.
The old Lakers.
Yeah, just seeing all the people courtside.
And you saw it in the first playoff game. Who was there? Diddy was there.
Yeah, they said Jack Nicklaus at the game.
Yep.
They said Jack Nicklaus went to the first game last season. And he been back to
really? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
So it was like he went to the first game. Like, these niggas
yeah. I watch Kobe, my nigga. You ain't fooling me.
He ain't Jack no ball. But you seen in New York too with that series.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a second. But just the names in here: Steph, best point guard ever, arguably. And at worst, top 2. LeBron, best player ever, arguably.
At worst, top 3. Yeah.
Anthony Davis coming off his best defensive series ever.
Best power forward ever.
No. Hey, Clay, Dre, Jordan Poole, D'Angelo Russell niggas used to think was an all-star. I mean, it's a lot of
Tristan Thompson.
Shout out Tristan Thompson. Shout out Tristan Thompson for real.
We're not gonna say it.
We're not gonna say what she
but
did.
But everybody knows.
Everybody knows she did. Everybody knows she did. You shameless for that.
You are shameless.
I hope you're practice playing hard, bro. This might be your last one, G. Man. I forget what former player said it. He was like, man, a lot of these niggas in the league off of relationships. He meant you, my nigga.
Off of relationships. And Thomas.
Yo, that shit crazy. Listen, Giannis lose again in the first round. His brother might need a job. But Lakers Warriors series, this is a series. I guess we won't go too deep into it, but we always break it down schematically a little bit. I think this series will have to be a kind of a showing on why the Warriors won the championship last year.
Okay.
And that is the Warriors, unlike 95% of basketball teams in the league, and like 90% of championships that we've seen, the Warriors legit have 2 identities. Mm-hmm. Where at any moment they could change their entire offensive philosophy with very minimal tweaks to compete against whatever opponent they have. So I thought the Lakers were going to do great against the Grizzlies for the reasons that we saw. Jared Vanderbilt's an amazing on-ball defender, navigating the screens. Anthony Davis, one of the best defenders ever, able to really funnel him in, not letting him score in the paint. They don't have real shooters outside of Luke Kennard. Let's just smother him, take away everything easy. They don't get a lot of easy shots outside of that, so we're going to be straight. The problem is the defense that Anthony Davis just played. Not to say he doesn't have, I'm not criticizing the level of defense he has. The plays he made literally just won't be there against the Warriors.
Yes.
It's like a great free safety playing a different offense in the
playing a rookie quarterback and then playing Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because what AD is going to be asked to do this series, the boy's going to be a tall task.
Tall task, yeah.
And the quiet is kept. Nobody said his name, and I think everyone's just like, the eggshell hat skull thing. Like nobody want to say it. Mm-hmm. But Darvin Ham, I hope you ready. Boy, Darvin Ham, I hope you ready. Because this is a Steve Kerr motion series. Lakers, brand new team, brand new defense, bunch of niggas who ain't never been here before. The offense y'all need to be prepared to stop. It's going to take a level of communication and effort that I'm not sure physically they have. Because if you watch that Kings series, a luxury people don't understand is that when you're young, 4 rotations not that bad. You can go pass, rotation. Mm-hmm. Man, when that's LeBron on the back end, let's hope that first nigga shoot. Because if they rotate around one more time, that dribble drive get into the cup, bro. And the Memphis Grizzlies, because of their lack of shooting, the Lakers were able to keep everything funneled in the paint.
Yes.
Which is a weird strategy for a lot of teams where you want to keep out the paint. No, the Lakers have such good and great size. They want you in the paint because once you're there, you can't do anything.
Exactly.
No, AD is going to have to go from corner. You have to go from sideline to
sideline. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And then, Draymond waiting on you.
On the other end?
Yeah, Draymond waiting on you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Pack your lunch, bitch. I mean, my bad. I don't say that.
I really hope AD getting a lot of rest today.
He is. I know he is. LeBron ain't woke up. LeBron's still asleep right now. So, one of your first points was Coach Kerr, Coach Ham. Coach Darvin, I'm not going to call him Ham. So, that was the first thing I was looking at in this series, and everybody talks about the players, and of course you are. It's Steph and LeBron, my nigga. It's the two greatest players of our generation. That's the first thing you're going to look at. Right. But when you get into the series and you get into the X's and O's, you're going to look at the two coaches, and you're going to say, well, Coach Kerr has all the experience in the world with this. You have none. It's just the point is about the Warriors is so important that the Warriors are like a chameleon, my nigga. They just adapt. They adapt to the environment around them. They adapt to the team they are playing. So what they just did to use to beat Sacramento, they're not going to use. They were slowing the game down. The Warriors are about to run up and down, up and down. How Ish was just talking about the Kings were throwing the ball to half, that's what they're going to be doing. Hey, Steph, half, Draymond, we going to get the ball. Clay going to throw it into half court. He going to sprint down the court. Curry going to take 2 dribbles, throw it to Draymond in the post split action. We run in our offense at 20 seconds in the shot clock. Yep. It's going to be that a lot. It's going to be a lot of pushing the pace because Bron old, AD hurt, getting up there, fragile. D'Angelo Russell, not a fast guard. Austin Reeves, not a fast guard. These teams, they don't want to play fast. They want to play at a slow pace. They want to keep this a half-court game. On the flip side, the Lakers are going to want to do the complete opposite, and it's going to be a chess match. Watching this will be amazing because early Steph Curry couldn't do this. So LeBron was able to control the tempo a lot of those games. He didn't always do it the whole game, but he did a lot of those games until KD got there. Yeah. Now with Steph having this experience and Bron, of course, having the experience, it's going to be very interesting to watch them both try to dictate the pace of this game because Bron, and you guys, when you're watching this, but I do want you to try to understand this when you see it. When you're watching this, it's not always about Bron having the ball in his hands or Steph having the ball in his hands. Look at what he's saying. And, of course, you can't hear him, but look at what he's pointing to and what he's telling him to do. And you can tell Steph is saying, hey, here, stop, walk up the offense. Yeah. You can tell Bron is saying, here, stop, Austin, get the ball, walk up the court, because you can tell he's doing it. When he gets the ball, he passes to Austin Reeves, and they just walk up the court next to each other. Right. That's for him to slow the pace down. Mm-hmm. So you guys are going to watch for that next series, and a lot of these games are going to be able to who can dictate the pace the longest. Because with these two guys, these two juggernauts on the court, you're not going to do it the whole game. That's not going to happen. You're not playing Memphis no more. You're not playing Sacramento no more. So you're going to have to, whoever can control the pace the longest will come out on top. Most games, I'll say. The second thing I'm looking for is the shooting of Los Angeles and the shooting of Golden State. Golden State didn't shoot great in every game this series, but they did shoot great in a couple games in the last series. the shooting will be there more than it was for Sacramento. Sacramento was really in their shit, really in their grill. Yep. You're not getting by me. Los Angeles does not play defense like that, mainly because they're not capable of it. Like, you gonna start Austin Reeves on Steph Curry?
With those shoulders, pause.
You gonna start D'Angelo Russell on Steph Curry? You gonna start D'Angelo Russell on Clay?
Yeah.
Braun gonna have to chase Wiggins around? Or are you gonna put Vanderbilt on Curry and have Wiggins and Russell chasing Wiggins? Russell and Reeves chasing Wiggins and Clay around.
Right.
Like, it's just so many things that they have to worry about offensively, and like you said, that motion offense. This is going to be that series because you're not gonna run high pick and roll with AD guard coming up to guard you every way. You're gonna try to get that switch, get Austin Reeves on you, get Dennis on you, whatever. But it's gonna be a lot of the motion, a lot of off ball Steph Curry, and it hurts. Because you're going to hear a lot of, well, Steph isn't even running offense. He only got the ball in his hand. But this is only working because he's on the court. So it's going to be a beautiful chess match. I cannot wait.
Man, listen, this is going to sound crazy. And we've been known to do this where we're going to say something. I'm going to say something crazy. And then a week and a half later, it's going to happen. But we're just going to move on because it happened. And we're going to move on to the next big thing. But this opportunity is so interesting, especially for Steph Curry, because Steph Curry changed his career arc because of what happened in the Cavs finals. And not in the way where, and it's crazy, I was watching, I think it was Speak For Yourself, and they was like, yeah, they went and cried to KD. Not in that way, because they were recruiting KD even before the finals. But Steph Curry literally changed his body. Changed the way he dribbles and the way he attacks so that stronger, bigger defenders are not going to bother him. And the poetic justice or the irony of it is Steph looks at that LeBron one-on-one matchup, and that's kind of fooled right now. Braun on a bad foot. And the reason I say it's so crazy, so I don't want anybody to be surprised late fourth quarter where who's Braun guarding? Oh yeah, come set the pick. Steph been waiting 6 years to get back right with you for real, because that's what y'all were doing to him. And now not only does he have the chance, he's ready. Where this is the best we've seen him play. He's 35 right now. This is the best Steph Curry I've seen. Agreed. Bigger, stronger, faster, better defender. And we talked about this even before the playoffs started, was the thing that concerns us with the Lakers is they don't have a group of five that's a good basketball team. And what I just said is very important is group of five. They'll have a group of five that's on the court currently, but they'll do one thing or two things really well.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna have Jared Vanderbilt lineup, Schroeder, LeBron, AD, Reeves. That's a pretty good lineup because you got great defense and you got a couple athletes that can get out and run.
No shooting.
But you can't shoot. Okay, well, let's bring Malik Beasley in. Let's have D'Lo out there, LeBron, AD, and shit. We'll go small and have a Rui out there. Well, now y'all don't play defense. The problem is going to be what five is going to play the majority of the minutes, because even if Jared Vanderbilt plays out of his mind defensively, Jared Vanderbilt not playing 40 minutes like Steph Curry will.
Nope.
20 minutes is a lot of time.
Yes.
And is Jared Vanderbilt even going to be on the court?
Is he going to be able to be on the court? Exactly.
Because if he's on the court offensively, that changes how LeBron and AD have to play offense. So I'm very interested to see if they can find a 5-man lineup to combat the lineups the Warriors are going to have, because statistically, it's the best 5-man lineup in the league.
5-man lineup in the league. So on the Lakers side, if you're the Lakers, and I want to tell you how I think the Lakers are going to attack the Warriors besides the pace. Yeah. And I bring up pace first because pace is so important to the game, because pace is whatever pace your team is pace your team is used to playing at is how your role players are most comfortable. And something very important about a playoff game is having your role players comfortable and in positions they're used to being in. So if you got a super up and down game and Austin Reeves not used to it, he'll get out of sorts fast, especially on the road, hearing that crowd. It'll get like Braun and AD not gonna be phased. This is for the pace is a lot to do with your role players. So the second thing I'm going to look at is, I think the most obvious thing is the size advantage you have over them. So I think they will attack. They will attack, and they will attack. Bron is, you're going to see Bron get downhill. Austin Reeves get downhill. You're going to see them run. The one thing that's annoying about LeBron is the same thing they used to say about Kobe and the same thing they used to say about Brady. Kobe would work on one move and do that move the whole game. Yep. Brady would, if this out route for 3 yards is open all game, I'm going to throw it every single time it's open. And Bron, if this mismatch is there, I'm going to run this pick and roll 14 straight possessions. I don't care. Listen, I'm going to keep running.
If this set works, this is the set we're running.
until they figure out what to do, we're going to run this pick and roll. So I see a lot of Bron AD pick and roll, Austin Reeves AD pick and roll, Bron pick and roll to get the ball inside and make that defense shrink because they know they can't shoot with Golden State, but they probably do like their chances shooting with Golden State if their shooters are wide open. Right. So that is how I think they attack them offensively. I don't think it's really anything else you can do besides try to beat them inside because you're not going to outshoot them and you don't have the wing players to just try to isolate Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson all game. And GP2, who's going to be a very big part of guarding LeBron this series due to LeBron's foot being bad and his handle not being amazing. Him being able to get small and get up into him would be great. On the defensive end, we're talking about their motion offense. A lot of their defense is going to be dictated by the pace, but something they can do in the half-court offense to try to limit the Warriors is run them off the three-point line. And LeBron-led teams do that better than anybody I've seen. Somebody else that runs them off the three-point line very well is Toronto. I don't know what Nick Nurse figured out in that 2019 series, but they run them off the three-point line very well. So that's what you're going to see them do is try to force everything to AD, which is what they just did with Ja. But the thing about Memphis is they're Memphis. so trying to force the Warriors to do something hasn't worked, so good luck.
So what's interesting about the Warriors, especially if you watch them as much as I know you do, is that in a league where they took the most threes, I think this year for like the first time in their dynasty, they love mid-range jumpers. They love one dribble pull-ups. They love floaters. You'll see Klay take 2 or 3 a game, off balance, moving left, goes in somehow. Wiggins, that's his go-to move. Steph, you see him take a floater from the free throw line. So if I'm the Lakers, this series, almost as their entire existence, is going to be reliant on AD and AD scoring more so than any other series because of the matchup problems that Golden State can create with their defense. Mm-hmm. Especially with Draymond and Wiggins and Looney, if they're going to be out there. Do not be surprised, especially you're going to see LeBron AD pick and roll early. You're going to see Draymond start on Bron, and then they're just going to switch to pick and roll. Mm-hmm. But from there, it's on you. If that's Wiggins down there, you got to cook. Looney down there, you got to cook. Anytime Draymond's not down there, you need to be putting pressure on their entire defense because the Warriors are, I'll say foul prone. That's the word I'll use. Mm-hmm. So if you can get them moving, helping, needing to jump over the double team, you can take advantage of your size mismatches where I may not be faster than this guy. This may not even be a good layup, but he's already out of position. I'm bigger than him. Go into him. Austin Reeves already got a crazy whistle. Control the game that way. I'm expecting to see a lot of LeBron in the post. Like I said, he with the Grizzlies. He was. You were right about that. Lived in the post versus the Grizzlies. I think he's going to stay in the post a lot there, try to work. But, man, and this has to be. So, AD, that's one. Dennis Schroeder, Rui Hachimura, whoever's getting off that bench, they have to be locked in.
Yes.
The non-LeBron, non-AD minutes are so important because this year the Warriors bench has been very up and down.
Yes.
So if the non-Steph minutes are positive, you're kind of fighting an uphill battle that you can't really, you won't be able to catch up because by the time you get there, he's in the game. But if you can really win, like you saw the Kings do, win the 5 minutes Steph Curry's going to have to sit down, or the 4 minutes Steph Curry's going to have to sit down, you're giving Braun AD 4-point lead coming back, tie game, anything positive, that is going to be so important as opposed to, we've seen it all year with the Lakers. LeBron, as soon as his ass hit the seat, 5-point deficit. You don't even know how. Team took 2 shots. Y'all already down 5.
Oh, God.
And a team as explosive as the Warriors By the time, like Braun might sit down and listen. I don't want this to happen. I want all these games to be close.
Me too.
But Braun might sit down mid third quarter and never get up. Like seriously, he sit down 8. He may not play the rest of the game if niggas get off that bench messing around because this isn't a team that's gonna not take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. This is not the Warriors' first rodeo, and of all people who really like you coming from the Grizzlies series. Brown, Dylan Brooks, talking that shit. We don't care. Warriors not fooled. Nobody in the Warriors has said anything at all negative because niggas know this means a lot for both sides.
It does. Something you said very important. We'll get off this for a second, but real quick, something you said: fouls. Mm-hmm. That is another way that the Lakers can dictate the pace. Is they drew the most fouls this year by a very wide margin, and they're going to stick to that. They're going to try to get to the free throw line because that'll slow the game down. And on the road, it takes your crowd out of the game. It makes your crowd mad, makes them anxious, and it makes the Warriors that'll make them take bad shots. It'll make them try to draw fouls because they want the same whistle. So things of that nature. Would you see Warriors not try to fall into those games a lot? But it's going to be a chess match. So it's going to be a lot of things to look for. But like we said, we're going to talk about more this series more than we talk about anything. We'll probably be talking about it in August. So now we're going to take a quick break. We'll touch the East in a second. And we're going to pick these series, and we're going to tell you the top 10 players of the playoffs. But first, we're going to pick these series. First series, we'll start in the East. The Heat are already up 1-0. On the Knicks, they play tomorrow again. But who do you have in that series, Heat versus Knicks, going to the conference finals?
I really hate it, bro, but the Heat will win.
All right, I agree with you. I got the Heat in 6. Next series, Boston, Philly. Embiid is out tonight, and if he does come back, he will not be 100%. Who do you have in that series?
I'm excitedly picking the Celtics. I'm so happy.
I am picking the Celtics in 6 games as well. To the West, Nuggets, Suns. Did not have a great start for the Suns last 2 nights ago, but who do you got, Nuggets, Suns?
I'm going to say Nuggets in 6.
Okay, I'm going to say Nuggets in 6 as well. We'll talk about it in a second. And then lastly, series of all series, King versus what is that show called? King versus the Chef. Yeah. The God versus the God versus the GOAT, whatever you want to call it. And I called him God because he's a Christian. Warriors, Lakers.
I'm gonna go Warriors in 6 as well.
I am going to go Warriors. I'm calling me crazy, but I'm going Warriors in 5. I think this is a pretty quick series. I think these games are all good, but I think the Warriors are just a better team, and they have shown that. I think they will show that this series. I think they'll show why they're the better team. If this series goes past 5 games, I'm not going to be surprised, but I do think the Warriors are winning the series. Okay. The one way I do think the Lakers will win this series is if Anthony Davis is the best player in the series, but it's been 2 years, and Steph Curry has been the best players in the past. It's a 5 playoff series, so don't know how he's going to do it, but we'll see. Top 10 players left in the NBA playoffs. This is always fun to do because this is really when the guys, the guys of all guys are here. So, we're going to start 10. I'm going to give my 10 first, and then Ish is going to give his 10, and we will go from there. We'll discuss why we have people where. We probably had the same number 1. I think you guys can guess by how the show is going. But 10 through 2.
How the show's going.
Oh, God. So, at number 10, I'm going to go down 10, and then he'll go down 10. At number 10, I had a list earlier from the what's that thing called? The first round. From the first round. So I had a list. So
the quarter semifinals.
Yes. This is my quarter semifinals top 10 players left in the NBA, and I want to preface this with this that this is not who I would draft first. This is who I'm taking in the playoff situation, not what I care about in February, what happened in February. I don't care nothing about this. This is strictly playoffs. Top 10 players left in the playoffs playing playoff basketball. At number 10, I have Draymond Green. Draymond Green has, from I'm not going. My bad. Draymond Green at number 10. At number 9, I have Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
At number 8, I have Embiid. At number 7, I have Jokic. 6, I have Devin Booker. 5, I have Jason Tatum. 4, I have Jimmy Butler. 3, I have Kevin Durant. At 2, I still got LeBron. And at 1, of course, Steph Curry.
Okay. I got a couple.
And I will explain why I have people where I have them.
Okay.
When it's done with the list.
All right. So 10. I'm gonna name not all yours. I'm gonna go Jamal Murray.
Okay.
I like. Okay. I'm not breaking down. Jamal Murray. 9. I'm gonna go JB.
Okay.
8. I'm gonna go AD.
Okay.
7. I'm gonna go LeBron. 6. I'm gonna go Book. 5. I'm gonna go Embiid. 4. I'm gonna go Jokic. Tatum. I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Jimmy at 2. Yes. And of course Steph at 1.
Okay. So I didn't have AD on my list, and I didn't have Jamal Murray on my list. I didn't have AD on my list because he has not been healthy, and you don't deserve to be on this list due to the healthy. Of course, you would be on this list if I had seen you in a healthy playoff run in the past 2 years. I have not. So at 10, I put Draymond. I put Draymond there because I've seen Draymond come up importantly too many times to not. It was between him and Clay. I chose Draymond due to his the clutchness of his defensive efforts. Right. And whether you need a stop 1-on-1, you need a 3-on-1 fast break stop, you need a 2-on-1 fast break stop, or you just need help defense. Every clutch moment, Draymond shows up for the Warriors time and time again defensively. Last night on Sabonis, he did a great job, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. And offensively, he does so much for the Warriors. He dictates so many. He throws so many great passes. And when they go small with him at the 5, they are incredible. Jaylen Brown, I think that's self-explanatory. Embiid is so low because, 1, he hasn't been past the second round, and I don't think he's going to do it again this year. True. 2, and it's hard for Embiid to really be effective in this playoff. Partially it's due to team design, but we're not going to make that excuse today. It's a lot to do with he can't be on the court for long periods of time because of how much people will put him in the pick and roll. Yeah. Of course, who did they play in the first round? Who did they just lose to?
Somebody trash. Right?
Yeah, it wasn't nobody good.
They were so bad.
Damn, I cannot believe I didn't think.
Was it Toronto?
Yeah, it was Toronto. They swept them. Whoever they beat, they swept. Yeah. No, Toronto missed the playoffs. Damn, I can't believe I forgot.
I literally just looked.
I forgot. I'm so sorry, y'all. This is so unprofessional.
It's bad. It was the Nets.
The Nets. That's why. It was the Nets. So they swept the Nets. But when you see if he is able to go in games 2 through however many, you will see them put him in a lot of pick and roll. And again, say it a lot. The word of the day is pace. They will run up and down the court and get him off the court. That makes him a liability. Liabilities can't be too high on this list, which brings me to my next defensive liability, Jokic. Amazing on offense, but liability on defense. I don't think we'll see that too much this round because the Suns just aren't together. But whoever they play between next round, Warriors or Lakers, you will see him get exposed. Yeah. 6, I have Devin Booker. I have Devin Booker here because, unfortunately, due to his situation, I don't think we'll see him in the conference final this year. But he is an all-NBA player. He's an all-NBA playoff performer, and he is excellent every time he's been in the playoffs. He is a full-bred number 1 option. He's just been blessed with KD. He is a number 1 option on a championship team. He has that type of game. He just needs a team built perfectly around him. He is a traditional shooting guard, so he needs teams that can do everything else around him, and we don't have a lot of those left in the NBA, so y'all don't know how to classify them. Jason Tatum at 5, just left the finals. Didn't perform well in the finals, but has performed well in the first 3 rounds. Last year, he's actually performed well every year he's been in the playoffs since he's been a rookie. Yep. So he deserves to be on this list and deserves to be in the top 5 on this. The top 5, Tatum, Jimmy, KD, LeBron, Steph. Jimmy is at 4. Self-explanatory. Jimmy turns into a top 5 player in the playoffs. He has the past 2-3 years, really since the damn fucking bubble. Yeah. Jimmy is Jimmy in the playoffs. This Heat team is not good. I will keep saying it. They have 6 undrafted players. They're not a good team. Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler and the defensive band is winning them all of these games. I hope his ankle is okay, so he's good to go. So Jimmy is at 4. KD is at 3. What do you say?
It's Kevin Durant.
That's Kevin Durant, my nigga. That's Kevin Durant. So it ain't really much else to say, you feel me? Defensively, he's all there, all NBA. Offensively, top 3 scorer ever. I was on Twitter saying he wasn't top 5 scorer every day just to get somebody mad at me.
So I can make the argument.
Oh, I can definitely make the argument. Yeah. But I was like, I'm not about to make it on Twitter because niggas ain't gonna listen. But, so KD is at 3, and LeBron and Steph are at 2 and 1. LeBron is 1B, Steph is 1A. I have Steph because he's a little bit better basketball player than Bron is now. Like, what Steph did last night, Bron couldn't do. But Bron could do that for a half, for sure. Yeah. And you might see this half against the Warriors where he go crazy. You saw it against the closeout, the game 4, I want to say, in L.A. against Memphis. Like, you see him turn it on, and just the way he thinks of the game, it is impossible to game plan for the in-game adjustments he's able to make himself from what he sees. It's impossible to game plan for. And then number 1 on the list, the chef. Him. Like, he finals MVP last year. There's a reason. Reigning finals MVP. There's a reason they're 19-0 in the West. There's a reason he has an 85% win total in the playoff. I will say again, he has won 85% of his playoff series.
Never been swept.
Never been swept. Never been beaten 5. Never been beaten 5. He's won 2 games in every series he's ever played in. This dude is special. He's the best player in the world right now. He is the best player left in the playoffs, and that is why in June you'll see him holding the trophy again.
So a lot of ours are kind of the same. So I'll hit on the ones that I have on my list that are next.
You had 80 at 10.
Yeah. So I have 80 at 10.
No, Jamal Murray.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. I had 80 at
9. Not yet.
Okay. So I have Jamal Murray averaging 20 a game, playing amazing offensively and schematically on defense, which was very important for this Nuggets team. Where adding in KCP, Bruce Brown, you're going to have better perimeter defenders, but you still, scheme-wise, need to make sure everyone's in the right place to support them. He's been doing that. I think he's in such a great position playing off someone like Jokic, where you saw game 1, Jokic's shots not falling, but the attention that he draws, the shots he's able to create for Jamal Murray, he has an ability to affect the game in ways that other people just won't get those shots. So I'm going to say him. I think he's really ready to take another step. It looked like he wanted to in the bubble, and he had that very sad injury, but he's 100%. He's attacking the rim downhill. Chris Paul looked like he tried to hurt him, and he laughed it off. So he's someone that's really, really locked in.
For sure.
Yeah.
You had Jaylen Brown at 9. That's my bad. Yeah. You had 80 at 8.
Okay, yeah. So I had LeBron at 7, 80 at 8. Up next, Jaylen Brown, best player on the Celtics. I'm just joking. But first of all, Atlanta always wins. Shout out Jaylen Brown. Played amazing round 1. He's going to play amazing this round. Just kind of like Devin Booker, a real traditional elite shooting guard.
Yes.
Like, not a combo guard, not kind of a point guard. I'm a shooting guard. I'm here for buckets, defense, intensity. I'll still facilitate. But what he does to Celtics really need, especially with Jason, who can be kind of a hands-off superstar at times, where his team's so good he's going to let them do some of the work, and that comes to bite them. Jaylen Brown, the complete opposite.
Yes.
100% downhill, 100% locked in.
I love it.
The entire game. Real killer mentality. Gotta love it. I had Braun. So everyone's going to look at this, like, why the fuck is LeBron and AD solo? Physically, I just do not want to expect them to be the 2 top 5 players left in the playoffs like they are. It's just too much to ask, especially LeBron with the foot. He's not 100%. AD hasn't played 3 series in a row. I don't think ever since the bubble.
Yes.
I think physically it's just, I don't want, right now their current physical state, I don't think they're 100% either of them, but they're 85% better than 95% of the players in the league.
Yes.
So that's why I'm still in my top 10.
Of course.
Damn, who else did I have this year that have?
Jokic.
So Jokic.
That I didn't have. That was it.
Oh, no, but I will explain Jokic. I do have him above them. So Jokic is in, whether it's the basketball gods or your religion or whatever you believe in, has somehow found himself another easy path to the Western Conference Finals. He's going to beat the Timberwolves, who are the playoff team for real. Shout out to the play-in tournament. We can talk about the play-in tournament too, now that the Heat are going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. But He's going to be in the Western Conference Finals. And he's the best player easily on his team with no other superstars. And that first game versus the Suns, it was kind of disheartening because he was shooting like shit and the Suns were down 20. Like, what he can do for an entire offense,
yes,
it's kind of the opposite of what we see a lot of superstars. And that's why it's kind of worrisome where we've never seen someone win like this.
Yeah.
But it's worrisome because they damn well might, for real.
Oh, God.
Like, they're a turn ankle away. So make or miss league. Somebody gets hot. Where a lot of superstars in the heliocentric system, let's say, not even Steph, but like, let's say what Steph just did. That's an example of heliocentric dominance, where I'm going to control the game. Jokic is the complete opposite.
Yes.
Where he does not need to do that, and everyone's going to eat. And now this is the best team he's been surrounded with in a couple years. Real role players, real six men, people on his team that have championships, played their same role in championships. I think this will be his best postseason in a couple of years, and I think they'll be right. I think they'll be knocking on the door. I just, everybody can't win championships in their career.
Exactly.
I don't know if he'll break through, but he will be knocking on the door the next couple of years.
100%. Yeah. So those are our lists.
And I had Jimmy Butler too. That's what I want to talk about.
Jimmy Butler.
So I had Jimmy Butler too. Purely off respect of the game.
Oh, God.
Respect of the game.
Oh, God.
Tell me what other niggas are shooting.
Don't give a fuck.
Man, Jimmy Butler took for all intents and purposes, the 9th/10th seed of this playoffs and beat the number 1 seed with no help. Tyler Hero broke his hand. Him and Gabe Vincent, Bam Adebayo, figuring it out.
Max Strus.
For 3 All-NBA players. Giannis got retired there, first Battle Hall of Famer. Drew Holiday keep playing for a couple years. He may have an argument.
Oh, God.
Brook Lopez played for a couple more years. He'll definitely have an argument with his
God.
longevity. Jimmy Butler dismantled a championship team. And we talked about what Giannis said for a little bit. He broke Giannis' spirit. Niggas not gonna tell me nothing else. That is a failure. Y'all lost.
Yes.
And the worst part about it is y'all didn't just lose. Y'all were beaten.
Yes.
By Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
And Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry are at the top of the 1 and 2 for my list as a bookmark in history for us to remember that sometimes niggas do it by themselves. Right?
Oh, God.
Niggas will tell you, oh no, it can't be done. Sometimes it can.
Sometimes it can.
And this is one of those examples. Shout out Jimmy Butler.
Shout out Jimmy. Nigga.
Shout out Eric Spoelstra. Shout out Pat Riley.
Yes, sir. Speaking of Eric Spoelstra real quick, we'll jump right into it. Real quick, we're going to hit on all the other series. Nets, Heat. Eric Spoelstra put on a coaching maestro.
He's on game 1?
Yes, game 1 yesterday.
Knicks Heat.
He is, yes, Knicks Heat. What did I probably said something wrong. Anyway, yeah, okay. That makes sense. New York, I was close.
It's all one, bro.
Exactly. Knicks, Heat. Bloodbath of a series. I think, like I said, I just said, Heat in 6. But I'm very interested to see what you think. Real quick, 2 minutes. What you think you'll see from the series?
So I saw exactly what I thought I was going to see game 1, where the Knicks were so happy to be here, so excited. The Heat just got through a super emotional 5-game series where you're very excited. Got a couple days rest. You're both coming off the same time. But y'all just did something crazy. So I thought the first half was going to be, we're going to feel it out, see what's going on, and that's exactly what happened. But that second half.
Put it on him.
Eric Spoelstra opened that bag on Jalen Brunson. People on Twitter, the announcers, why doesn't Jalen Brunson have the ball? Let me tell you why he doesn't have the ball. Because he's being denied left on every catch. Forced to go back door and to reset the play. And for a player that cannot go right, if you deny him left, there's nowhere else he can go. And that's what the Heat did with undrafted players the entire game. And one of my favorite sayings from one of my, playing basketball when I was first learning, sometimes the best answer is the simplest.
Yes.
Sometimes the best answer is the simplest. Right?
So I was going to say the same thing, just completely different. They just made Jalen Brunson uncomfortable. Jalen Brunson goes, that offense goes as Jalen Brunson go, and they knew that. They watched it on film. We see it. They see it. They made Jalen Brunson uncomfortable by doing exactly what he said. He's not getting the ball in the spots he's used to getting them. A la they're trying to get him to the right side of the floor. He doesn't really like it over there. Second thing they did, last series against Cleveland, They bullied them. You're not going to do that to a Miami Heat team. You're not going to do that to an Eric Spoelstra team, to a Jimmy Butler team. You're not going to do that. So the way they were getting a lot of easy buckets, a lot of extra possessions, you're not going to get that against the Heat. Third, New York does not have a lot of shooters. They're not a good three-point shooting team. They're not even an average three-point shooting team. And I don't care what the numbers say. I need y'all. I should probably start prefacing all our shows with, when I'm speaking, I don't care what the numbers of the regular season say. A playoff team in 7 games, they're not an average three-point shooting team. They're not. So the Heat are a better three-point shooting team. They made more timely three-point shots than they did yesterday. And the Heat got Jimmy Butler, and y'all don't.
That's it. And I want to shout out Kyle Lowry, shout out Duncan Robinson, especially shout out Kyle Lowry, because Kyle Lowry was doing some nasty work to Jalen Brunson.
Yes.
He really was showing.
Yes.
And I've loved to watch this throughout all the playoffs this year, was the old niggas in the league, like, let me show you something. Mm-hmm. Let me show you something real quick.
It's beautiful, bro.
Because I'm not as fast as I used to be. But Kyle Lowry's been around the block a couple
Come on,
times,
man. I understand how this game is played.
There was a couple of them. Jalen Brunson went to the rim. Kyle Lowry somehow come out with the ball. I don't understand it. You show the replay. He's strong, bro. He been here before. He know how to grab your arm a little bit. The ref can't see it.
Yep.
All that stuff. That was really what it was. Game 1 was just a masterclass all around.
Yes, but he mentioned that Julius Randle did not play, so I won't put too much flack into him. Especially if Julius does not play this whole series. Right. I won't put too much flack into them.
I want to shout out Bam Adebayo because I saw a crazy stat. Bam Adebayo boxed out Mitchell Robinson more Game 1 statistically than Evan Mobley did the entire Cavs series.
Holy shit!
The entire Cavs, and this is why I want to shout it out because he didn't even get half those rebounds. Bam did, but that's not the point of boxing out. Mm-hmm. Boxing out is to make sure that nigga don't get the
rebound. Come on,
and everyone else was snagging the little boards because Bam Adebayo sacrificing for the team. It ain't gonna help my numbers. It ain't gonna show up in contract time, and it probably hurt like shit.
Yeah. Oh god, probably hurt like a mother. You see them videos up close on the side, you like, damn, them niggas is physical for real.
Down there fighting for real, bro.
So next series in the East, it won't be too entertaining if Embiid isn't playing. What's the score right now? They're playing right now. It don't matter because this game gonna be over when y'all see this. But
Philly up 2
right now, 83-81, third quarter. Philly has a good team. I definitely think Philly can win this series if Embiid gets back healthy. I want to say that I am picking Boston because I think Embiid misses 2 games.
Harden got 30. Harden got 30 on 22 shots, and we. God.
And we said we just need him a quarter. We said we just need Houston Harden for a quarter, man. And he giving us a full game.
He got 30 on 2 made free throws. It's one of them games, nigga.
Stuff is inspiring, niggas.
I'm telling you, just hoop for real.
Just hoop, twin. But real quick, again, 5 minutes on this. Why are you picking the Celtics? Is it besides Embiid? Pretend Embiid is there. Why would you be picking the Celtics?
I think top to bottom, the Celtics are just a bad matchup for everybody in the East. Pretty much everyone in the league.
I do too.
Really.
I truly do feel that way.
If the Warriors last year, they'd be the defending world champions, defending their crown. Because there's not a style of basketball they can't play. No. And in a league where two-way players are so hard to find, we talk about the Lakers not really having too many of them. Mm-hmm. They have two-way superstars.
Yes.
Where no matter what lineup they're going to put out there, it's going to start with 2 superstars.
Yes.
And then you surround that with a 50, 40, 90 point guard, shout out 6 men of the year, defense player of the year, leader in shot blocking. Like, it's so many perfect pieces they have put together. And now, ironically enough, even though Jason Tatum's like 17 and Jaylen Brown's a kid, this is a veteran team.
Yeah.
Where they've been in 5-6 years of deep playoff basketball.
Jaylen Brown, 24 years old and a real vet.
He's
a real vet.
24-year-old veteran. That's crazy. So that's why, and I Harden got 30 right now. The game's tied because Jason Tatum has 32. But I don't think that's a level of play that that we're gonna see out of James Harden that matters the most.
Yeah.
I am a nigga, if I've seen it before until I see something else, I'm gonna assume that it's gonna keep going that way. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, Philadelphia fans, but when you need him the most, that's when he's going to not show up.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
But at least we warned you. But, yeah, I agree with you, bro. I think the Celtics are the best team in basketball. And that does not mean I think they're going to win a championship, but I think they have the most complete team, the best roster in basketball. I have a top, at worst, 10 player. They also have a top 20 player. I think Jaylen Brown is an undisputed top 20 player. I think he's very underrated because he's next to Jason Tatum. Coaching wise, they look good. He's a rookie coach, so we'll see. But Doc don't make adjustments, so who give a fuck? They have
the more experienced coach at this point.
They have Al Horford, veteran, Robert Williams, great interior presence, as you said, a 50, 40, 90 player off the bench, the defensive player last year. They're just a complete team.
Shout out Marcus Smart, friend of the show.
I think the one thing they could have done, Philly could have done to beat them, was get the ball inside, and Boston was going to do one of two things: get the ball out of his hands or make Embiid beat him. I think Embiid could have beat them if they would have let him play one-on-one and not sent the double every time. If they sent the double every time, then I think getting the ball back to Harden on maxi speed, if you can get the defense moving, getting to the rack, even if you're missing the layups and Robert Williams is contesting them, you're punishing their defense time and time again. Eventually, their defense is going to break and those layups will start falling. And Robert coming over to help. Embiid is an excellent offensive rebounder. Exactly. He is lazy on the boards, in my opinion. He should get more rebounds, but when he's not having it going, he does go down there and get his points any way he can. So that's how I think they would have attacked him as a beat in there. Without him there, I'm not too sure what they do. But like I said, I still got Boston at 6.
And if we were looking to, so my flip side, because I just did not hate on the 76ers, but schematically to attack them would be that way, and it would need to be a Tobias Harris. I need you to clean up every double team.
Yes.
Every double team, if it shoots or if they switch, you end up with a guard. You need to assault the backboard. And we saw this in the Kings series, where even if you're not a good rebounder, assault the backboard to make him box you out.
Yes.
Make Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon stay down there, put a body on you, and box out to end these possessions.
Yes.
Because of the physical advantage you have on them, if you can assault them on the offensive boards and give Embiid more touches, get their bigs into foul trouble, you do have a path to win. But I just don't think for 7 to 6 games that they're going to be, I don't want to be disrespectful, but just a competent team in Philly. I just don't see it.
I agree. So Suns and Nuggets. This we'll talk about. I am interested in what you're seeing, because Game 1 was a surprise to me. I thought the Suns would come out and win Game 1, to be honest. Because at first I thought the Suns were going to win the series in 6 or 7 games, but now I don't think so. I truly do not think so. I don't like what I see from the Suns, and what I saw from the Suns is what I think I would have saw from them if the Clippers were healthy, and that they haven't played any basketball together. Right. We said, and I believe I did bring this up in episode 29, that with the Suns having to guard that motion offense of Denver, it's going to be very hard for them to stop it, because you have to talk so much. Yep. And sometimes it's not even about talking, it's just about the philosophy, or maybe not even the philosophy. It's just like, hey, I bring Steph and Dre into this. When Steph passes somebody off to Dre, he knows how to pass him off, because he knows how Dre. He knows what to say to Steph to get him in this position. So because he knows what Steph does defensively, you just don't know that shit about your teammates. And I know I didn't say a specific example in words because I'm not on the NBA basketball team, but they when you have chemistry, little things on defense help, and they don't have any of those little things. So I think Denver is just going to be able to get whatever they want offensively. I think the Suns will get what they want offensively as well, because you got Kevin Durant and you got Devin Booker, but Chris Paul can't guard shit. DeAndre are dominating, can't stop Jokic. And those are two things: the lack of chemistry and the lack of defense, and DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul being liabilities. I just think they lose the series in 6.
So minute this matchup was locked in, I thought it was the worst case scenario for the Suns. They are top to bottom, unfortunately, just not a good basketball team. You said the Lakers don't have 5 good players to put on the court. I don't think the Suns have 5 just players in general on their team that are great. They're good playoff basketball players. Like, seriously. Shut up Josh Okogie, not a good player. I'm gonna be honest, should not be on the court playing 30 minutes in the playoff game. Not a knock to him.
It's not. Like, it's not.
This is we're trying to get to Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. But exactly what you talked about, and you saw at game one where the problems that they have are worrisome because they compound onto each other. Mm-hmm. Normally when people pair up, it should fit well enough. Like, there are certain things they're not going to worry. Like, when LeBron and D-Wade paired up, the problem was the offense.
Yes.
Because they knew they were going to be fine with defense. Mm-hmm. Steph, Clay, Dre, their core stayed together. They were just adding one guy. So it wasn't like they were trading Draymond and two more people, and we have to create a new philosophy. No, these rules are still in place.
Yes.
You just need to acclimate yourself for them.
Exactly.
The problem with the Suns is not only did they change their personnel mid-season, but they changed such important personnel in Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. They had to then change their defensive philosophy.
Yes.
So instead of just KD having to learn something new on defense, now Chris Paul does too.
And now Devin Booker.
DeAndre Ayton. And what you're talking about, where these rules and these systems, where these automatics are, I saw it a couple times where Chris Paul or Josh Okogie or whoever's on Jamal Murray wants to ice the screen. So they turn around quickly, say something. DeAndre Ayton or Kevin Durant, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. So when you on the other end, so when you ice him, there's no big down there. So you're seeing so many blown plays because this is a Denver Nuggets team, shout out to Mike Malone, that is literally built the opposite way of the Suns.
Yes.
Where it's about 5 people, connectivity, playing as one. And the Suns, it's literally, man, let's see if KD and D Book can go do it.
And maybe they can. But and I will say
that's why I got them at 6.
Yeah.
That's why I got them at 6.
They might can. But I will say that your point is very important. The automatics. That's what you said. Yeah. The automatics in the defense is very important. And I'll say this. It's not even always, because you guys are going to be like, I know a lot of people can watch this, like, my nigga, they in the NBA. Like, they can figure out some defense. And it's not always about figuring out. Like you said, I want to ice. I want to hedge. Mm-hmm. And I don't shout this out because I don't want to say the actual word. I want to
yell ice to me.
Yeah.
Icing, right?
Hey, Cole.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant, who ain't been there all year, it's not. He know what Cole mean, but it take him 1 extra second, and that 1 extra second is a bucket in the NBA. Yeah. So it's not even always about you not knowing it. Sometimes you just don't process fast enough, and that happens when there's no chemistry. Right. So that's pretty much why I think the Nuggets will win the series.
The last part is. Jokic isn't the best player this year. So I don't think he'll be the second best player. No. But the matchup advantage Jokic has over DeAndre Ayton. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie, DeAndre Ayton. I'm gonna be real honest. Because they play later tonight, right?
Yes, they do. 10 o'clock.
But what you did game 1 was embarrassing, my nigga. Like, you should be embarrassed. The effort you put in.
You should.
The videos of you standing out of bounds,
playoff game,
watching Jokic dribble rebounds off the backboard. Listen, you better lucky. You should be happy. Monty Williams not one of them guys.
No, you should be happy. Monty Williams scared of you because that's all it is.
Yeah, and you lucky. You better pray to God Monty Williams don't find him another center.
Oh God!
If there was another option out there, I know you would not be out there.
You would not.
And in DeAndre Ayton's game, I just dislike all of it.
I do too.
I dislike it's too soft.
It is.
It's too far from the rim. Mm-hmm. You don't play enough defense, and y'all are about to get sent home with arguably the 2 of the 3 best playoff scorers right now. They are on fire, and y'all might not win a game unless they take over and carry because you can't play your position.
DeAndre Ayton plays basketball like Anthony Davis when he's not locked in.
Yo, DeAndre Ayton's whole career is not locked in. That's it.
That's who dominated.
Let me pose this question. And people in the home, you ain't got to answer it when I first asked. Just think about it. Who better right now? Kevon Looney and DeAndre Ayton. And then ask yourself who's asking for a max contract, demanding trades. And that's the problem with these young niggas, bro. That's the and you know what? This is just a water basketball problem. That's the problem with these stretch bigs that y'all niggas think hit a couple of jumpers. Fam, the value of DeAndre Ayton shooting a mid-range jumper with Kevin Durant
and Devin Booker.
You're not supposed to be taking a shot, bro. Like, It's not what you do, fam. It's like, man, Julian Edelman had a great arm. He shouldn't be throwing unless we really this is some trick play shit. Like, okay, that's cool. We got the 2 best mid-range shooters in the league. The little flip shots, nah, bro. You need to play big.
Thank
if
you.
Y'all want to win.
Thank you.
If y'all want a chance.
Thank you.
Because Jokic is one of the most efficient players to ever lace him up.
Yes.
I promise he don't got no more stinkers for you this season.
He does not.
I promise. I
Excellent.
hate it had to be KD, bro. I really do.
I
hate
do
it
too,
had to
bro.
be Book.
I do. I truly do.
But Chris Paul.
Do not hate it has to
Hope you enjoy your summer, bro.
I don't hate Chris Paul, but I let him hate Chris Paul because it's very funny to watch.
Hope you enjoy Cancun, nigga.
But we were
Kyrie team next season. We'll get to that.
Kyrie was at the game last night.
Yeah.
Notice how they didn't tell you though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kyrie Irving sitting courtside and you didn't know that until after the game. That's crazy.
I
Bro.
saw the pictures.
That's crazy.
And I didn't even put it together that he was at the game.
That's crazy, bro.
Man.
And I'm talking about the Sacramento Warriors game last night. That was the game Kyrie was at. So last, to wrap up, we'll jump off basketball. We talked basketball for an hour and a half straight. Great to do that. Blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah, for real. Great basketball.
Close it out. We won't spend too much time on this, but Jim Jones.
Yo, shout out Jim Jones.
And I'm not saying nothing disrespectful to Jim Jones.
Hell no.
I don't disrespect none of the rap legends because y'all literally shaped my childhood. New York shaped rap forever, made rap what it is. Dipset is Dipset forever.
Jim Jones the type of nigga to respond to.
Oh, God. Shout out Jim Jones. We just going to talk about what you said, nothing about you.
I might talk about you, but it's
and
not
if,
just love.
look, if Drake brought me out of the Apollo, I'd probably be saying the same thing about him too. Look.
Pusha T, nigga.
Oh, God.
With the ether behind go crazy.
So, I'm not talking about him calling Drake the GOAT because I have my GOAT Mount Rushmore. I don't like using Mount Rushmore, but I'll just say it for the time. GOAT Mount Rushmore, if you will. And those, Drake, Wayne, Hove, and Kanye West, those are the 4 greatest rappers we've ever gotten. I truly believe that. However you want to put them, it literally just has to do with what you grew up listening to, bro.
Right.
Like, let's just be honest, bro. Like, that's what it has to do with what you prefer, what you grew up listening to. And it is a fun debate. We're going to have this debate from now until whenever this show ends. Hopefully it never ends. Right. We'll have that debate 100,000 times.
Right, those are the niggas. If I ask you your favorite rapper and you respond to those, no problem with it.
Exactly. So, not even finna talk about that. I don't care. I will talk about him saying Pusha T is not a top 50 rapper. Again, I'll say that. So Jim Jones said Pusha T is not a top 50 rapper ever.
Yeah.
I literally do not know how you can name 50 rappers without getting to Pusha T. So maybe he was just trolling, but we're gonna respond like he wasn't. How in the fuck do you even make a list without Pusha T in your top at least 25?
I want to shout out Jim Jones first of all, because not only to say he not a top 50 rapper, then to ask around the room, yo, name a Pusha T song. The nigga started naming Pusha T song. He said, oh, you listen to him, never mind. To double down, like, that is crazy. Cause the nigga you asked started rattling off classics too. Nigga said nostalgia, if you know, you know. Like, he started giving you real shit. He said, oh, no, you be listening to, let me go. You know, DJ ain't heard of liquor rap music in years, nigga. That's like DJ Envy sat down and spun a real album. Real, like, DJ Envy, shout out to you.
DJ Envy,
that man. He got kids, nigga.
DJ Envy interview niggas with albums out and don't listen to the album that they coming to talk about.
Yo, this is kind of unrelated. Cause it's like, what was your favorite song? Like, man, you got me.
That nigga said the name of the album.
It's so funny. But Jim Jones, I ain't gonna lie, and you know this. Listen, real nigga to real nigga, bro. That's just some good old fashioned hate shit, bro. And I ain't gonna hate on you. I fuck with you, bro. But you can't name 50 rappers better than Pusha T.
Bro, like,
you literally, physically, you cannot do it because you gonna start saying some names that's gonna sound stupid, bro. Pusha T has legit had 2 separate careers to the point where young niggas who like Pusha T, some of them don't even listen to the clips. Some of them just listen to Pusha T. Like, there are real niggas who do that. But what Pusha T has done, and it's hard to describe Pusha T. Like, why is he so great?
Yeah.
And this is what I came up with. Pusha T, that nigga in the room who knows should be in the room. Pusha T has been around so much greatness in rap music. He didn't produce. He didn't, head of good music. But the reason he's the head of good music is because he know who need to be in the room.
Come on now.
What other niggas have been around this much greatness for real?
Come on now.
We're talking about songs with Hov, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy,
come on
Clips, now. Pharrell.
Come on now.
Who else got an album half Pharrell, half Kanye?
Come on now.
And that's not even his best one. That's leaving out classics in the early 2000s before rap changed. You could take Pusha T music, take every album he dropped out of the equation. I walk up to you and say, yo, he beefed with Lil Wayne and Drake in their prime and won. That's top 50 off jump, nigga. That's top 50 off jump. I don't care if he released nothing else. You are the two biggest rappers in the history of life, damn nigga. Yeah. Drake for certainly is. Yeah. Wayne is an argument. Yeah. But he at least top 3 with Eminem.
Exactly.
And came out unscathed, nigga.
Unscathed, bro. Look, bro.
It's levels for real.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it. Like it wasn't much to say. I just wanted you to get your shit off with Pusha T, your nigga. So I was like, Pusha T, your dog. So I was like, I fuck with Pusha T too, but not like he do. So he good music. I'm Young Money. Just in case your first episode. But yeah, bro, Pusha T dropped his first album in 2002. He dropped the second album in 2006. Those are both Clips albums. And then he dropped his first solo album in 2011. Has dropped consistently since then. And I would argue had one of the best albums we've heard in the past 10 years in Daytona. And I'm not even a big Daytona guy. Like people be calling it a classic and be like, it's amazing, it's perfect. It's really good. I like the album. It's 7 songs though. like chill, it's 7 songs, but it's a great fucking 7 songs. His last album he dropped last year, it's almost dropped top 5 album last year. Some people had an album of the year, well deservingly so, and it was nominated for a Grammy. Darkest Before Dawn, incredible album. My Name Is My Name, incredible album.
We got it for cheap. A mixtape.
These albums that he has right here are not normal fucking projects. 50 rappers don't have these type of albums. 50 rappers don't have this type of career, my nigga. They asked, bringing up the Breakfast Club again. They asked Swiss the other day, who is his top 5? And he, of course, PC worked with everybody. Not gonna give an answer, but he said to even be in the conversation, you got to do 10 summers. Pusha is on summer 21, my nigga. Pusha's on summer 21, my nigga. You can't disrespect that, bro. Like, you can't. And I see the Drake thing. I see it. I get it. It's cool.
And
but you Jim Jones, like, you a legend too. I'm not tripping. I don't care. I don't care what you really said. I care for the people listening that are going to repeat what you said and think it's factual. That's my issue, and I'm talking to those people now, bro. Like, you don't get to talk down on people that's had 21 summers in rap, because that ain't fucking normal. You know how many rappers that's been put out a song, and I ain't even talking about SoundCloud niggas. I'm talking about rappers that were signed to a label or had backing behind them that put out music and was gone 6 months later, was gone a year later, gone 3 years later.
What Drake say? All that hype don't feel the same next year, bro.
Come on, man.
Listen. Jim Jones, again,
it's a Drake bar for everything.
Again, Jim Jones. This is no disrespect, but for a one-hit wonder to say that about a nigga 20 years in the game, I gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Come on, man.
I can't listen. What y'all niggas did in here, crazy. Can't be compared. But Pusha T did something that none of you niggas were able to do, and that's change with music and still be relevant.
Yes.
Call a spade. Y'all just were not able to do that.
Yes.
And we've seen I don't know if destruction, but the erosion of New York rap music because you niggas could not do that.
Yes, with all due respect.
All due respect.
All due respect. That's no disrespect. It's just factual information.
Listen, I can only present the information.
Come on, man. So, excellent show. I have one more question for Ish that he did not know I was going to do. But he's prepared. He is prepared. I will answer the question after he does. We'll close the show. Next week, we will be talking about Snowfall. I've given you guys enough time to watch it. And I've been looking for a time for me and Ish to be able to really sit down and get into it, because I don't want to have a quick 5-minute conversation, because I want to talk about the show in totality. I'm going to go back and watch a few episodes before we do it. So Sunday, that's what we'll be looking for. That'll be... That episode will be dropped on Monday, episode 31. We'll be doing Snowfall review and, of course, talking about playoffs. But last question of the day, wrap-up night, 9:25 p.m. on a Monday. We really get to this shit. We don't play about this shit. Come on now. To end the emergency pause, we started with the greatest point guard ever. So I will ask, if Steph is the greatest point guard ever, why?
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is easy. So Steph, greatest point guard ever.
I told y'all he was prepared.
Steph, greatest point guard ever argument is the same reason if he's able to win, let's say 1-2, we can start making the GOAT argument. Is first off, he has this argument versus any basketball player, including Michael Jordan, is Steph changed basketball, period. And he didn't change basketball. Niggas said this shit earlier, made me so mad. Well, Magic showed us that big niggas can dribble. No, he didn't. There were not a bunch of 6'10" niggas in the league with Magic trying to dribble. He didn't change the NBA. He was just Magic. Niggas let him do that. He didn't change basketball. You go watch a rec league game. You go give your 6-year-old nephew the ball. He will start at the 3-point line still. Players that cannot get the ball to the rim are jacking threes. There are no big men in the NBA anymore. We saw a 6'9" big be the best rebounder in the playoffs for the second year in a row. The entire landscape of basketball is different because of what Steph Curry has done. Aside from him being a better basketball player than Magic Johnson, if you want to take it step by step, outside passing, you could seriously make an argument there's nothing Magic Johnson does better on the court, and that includes rebounding after Steph put up a 40-10 double-double in the finals. He's evolved his game to where, well, this is really the problem with a lot of niggas who just started watching basketball is how a player is introduced to them is how they always see them. The Steph Curry from 2016, that's 180 pounds, that can't rebound and can't defend, is not the person that you just saw send home the Kings and you just saw win the championship. The reason he can do this so effortlessly now is because not only is he a great defender, go ask Ja Morant, who could not score him in 2 game-winning situations, is that he's so much stronger. He's the best ball handler in the league, not named Kyrie Irving. So in situations where other people cannot create, because the defense is literally so good, he can still dribble wherever he wants, and there's no solution for it. We saw Magic Johnson, who has holes in his game, couldn't shoot for a very long time, could not play defense against smaller guards. If I were to describe the best basketball players and they go play, they're not picking Magic over Steph, because you can't be on the court. There's no argument for Magic over Steph outside of Magic and Larry saving the league, which is a narrative thing because they only met twice. But every single box that Steph needs to check, he does. And I know it takes moments like this for niggas to understand, oh, this might be the best. But I'll close it with this. Steph is 35 right now. Steph has been the best point guard in the NBA for what? At least 10 years. Well, it's 2023. I'll give him 9, maybe. I give 2015. This season will end 2014. He's easily been the best point guard since then.
Yeah, 2014 to 2023.
And for the niggas in the comments, he had KD. Steph has already won 2 rings without Kevin Durant. Magic Johnson has 0 without Hakeem.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And that's what
the top 3 basketball player ever. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
What killed me is niggas would be like Kareem the best player ever, and then have Magic in the top 5. What does that mean then? So listen. And lastly, look at the niggas who've ate with Steph. Look at the niggas who ate with Steph. These are not players that could sustain careers literally anywhere else because the way Steph Curry plays basketball affords them these luxuries they would not have other places. Niggas like Draymond Green wouldn't succeed on another team. It's not because Draymond Green punches teammates. It's because what he does on offense, he could not do anywhere else because Steph Curry makes the entire game different. There is no Steph Curry defense. The Steph Curry defense used to be foul as much as you could. Kobe said, make him shoot from his side and don't let him catch the ball. now he's too strong, so you can't do that. He doesn't care if you make him shoot from the side, and he's never going to turn the ball over in a pick and roll anymore.
Nope.
There's no holes in his game.
None.
He was the unanimous MVP in 2016.
Yes.
And he's better now.
Boom. I would just piggyback up this. He has the highest wins total percentage in play, the highest percentage of playoff series wins, 85%. I said it earlier, 85%. He is 20. I think he's 20 and 2 in the playoffs, and 24 and 2 in the playoffs since 2015. 24 and 2 in the playoffs since 2015. 85% win total overall. That's higher than any of the GOATs ever. Kind of by far, honestly. 2 MVPs. 4 championships, 1 the finals MVP. I still can understand why you would have Magic as number 1 now. If he wins this championship, it's no argument, bro. It is Steph. I have Steph 1 now, but I understand why Magic has a lot of accolades. But like it said, bro, if y'all want to talk about basketball, Steph is the better basketball player, and it is just that simple. It's no disrespect to Magic. I know what Magic did for the NBA. Magic deserves a hand clap damn near every morning for what him and Larry did help with the NBA. They did help it. Besides just the fact that they played in the finals 2 times, Magic excitement that he brought to the game, the no-look passes, the fast break. That's the one thing he did introduce into basketball was the fast break. I learned that a couple years ago. I did not know that. But he did introduce the fast break. Basketball was super slow-paced, and he made it fun, fast, and fascinating. So he does get that. They coined the name Showtime. Look, the Showtime Lakers. You still hear that name shit. They just did a show on Magic. Then Magic dropped the documentary. Like, he's a cultural icon. Everybody knows who Magic is. Even if you don't fuck with basketball, you know who Magic Johnson is. And then not to mention what he did in business. Like, Magic as a person, as a whole, is a wonderful stature. A fucking godlike figure. But just on this basketball court, my nigga, that boy 30 just different. And we'll end it there.
Before we end it, this is my last point. And this is a point that projects well into the future, because niggas gonna look back and then they're gonna understand. Magic saved the NBA in getting the finals on TV. Okay, so Steph changed basketball. Steph changed NBA too, because them TV deals niggas signing and the salary cap niggas growing. So now niggas can get Supermax. When did those start coming on? When did the viewership? Because all the last 27 highest viewed games in the NBA, this is not a joke, all have been games Steph Curry played in.
That's so stupid.
Those millions of dollars that make it, Steph Curry literally changed the city. We talk about how LeBron changed Cleveland.
Changed San Francisco forever. They got a new arena because of that nigga.
They won a championship in one arena. They're still competing for another one in a different arena right now.
They built it while he was still in his prime. Come on, man. And the last thing I want to say, because my laptop's about to die, we're going to lose the whole show. The last thing I want to say is, I see a lot of people talking about them assist numbers, but do the assist numbers really matter if Steph is still creating the same amount of shots? I'll leave you with that. This has been episode 30, post-traumatic stress, post-traumatic Steph disorder, PTSD. This is in the books. It will be available on all platforms. So if you listen on YouTube, it's on Apple. If you listen to Apple, it's on YouTube. If you listen to Spotify, it's on both. You feel me? I am Rock. This is Ish, and we will see you guys next week.
Later, twins.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the twins.
Yeah, shout out to the